Okay, now it's time to do your side bearings. I mean, if you want to do them, awesome. If you don't want to do them, that's up to you. These are pretty good, but what if, you know? What if they go bad? I'm gonna be in here again. All right, these are both exactly the same, right and left. Okay, new ones. All right, so what we're gonna do is to get them off, we're gonna do the same thing. Gotta cut the cage. Get some nice cuts. Get in here. Cut the cage open. Pain in the butt, but once you get it, stick a screwdriver in there and open them up too, but screwdriver in there so you can give a good bite. I can't get a good bite. I get a screwdriver, stick a screwdriver in there. I don't know where my screwdriver's at. Anyway, I'll stick it in there, open it up, you can get another bite. Okay. Should better open it up. Okay. Open it up. Now you can go to the bottom one. Now you can grab it, open it all the way up. Okay. It's all over the place. Okay. And you wouldn't expect that one, it's fine. Alright? So get the idea on getting the cage off, and then we'll move. Once we got both sides done, we'll move on to getting the race off. What you want to do, set it up, get your die grinder, cut a slash in it. Then you get a chisel and hit him with a chisel. Pretty decent sized chisel. Inside your groove. Hammer. Cracks it. Okay? Groove in it, smack it with a chisel, and it cracks it halfway or whatever. Sometimes it cracks it all the way. That's how you get them races off. Do the other side. Okay, match your old race up with your new race. Make sure it's got the same number. Then what I'm going to do is put on my new race, my new bearing. No shims under there. Remember, because the shims are on the outside. Get that on there. Take your old race, put it up there. I got like a little thing here I can put on there and I can use it to hit with. Okay? So I'm gonna use that and line it all up. And make sure you put the bearing on with the angles up. Okay? there. You hear the difference in the sound? So you can use the old race, pushes past it, and you look down below underneath, and there's no gap. And it's a pretty solid hit, so it's good. Now you can flip it over and do the other side. All right, time to put in the differential case with new bearings. Make sure you pre-lube your bearings. Wipe off your shims. Make sure the round part of the shim goes to the outside and the flat part goes towards the bearing. You need your hammer, brass drift. Get that ready. What you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up the whole thing as a unit with the shims with it and all, and you're gonna put it in there. It came out fairly decent. It should go in fairly decent. All you're doing is replacing the bearings. The bearings are machined perfect. They should be all the same. Got the same part numbers. They should be the same. There's no difference in the bearing. Okay, so we're not going to change anything. All right, so we shouldn't have to change the shims. So we're not changing the ring and pinion or anything. We're just put new bearings in it, and the bearings should be exactly the same. All right. You might have to tap them in a little bit. I'll try not to get in the way with the camera. So I pick them up. Have them in your hands. Whoops. Uh-oh. Let's see. This goes like that. All right. Okay. All right. See the shim? Put it up in there. Try to get them all in there equally. Sometimes you gotta move them around. Sometimes the bearing comes out a little bit cockeyed. It's just a pain in the butt. Try not to get in the way of the camera. Trying to put them all in there. It's in there. Boom. Should be a little bit tighter than that. I like it a little bit tighter. Seems a little loose to me. It needs to be tighter than that. Okay. So now I'm gonna have to adjust preload on this. 99% of the time I don't have to change these when I'm just doing bearings. What the heck? Then they give you these shims and install kit that they're just a pain in the ass. But me, I've done so many of them, I got extras. All right, my right shim measured 257, my left shim measured 283. I just want to increase it 5 thousandths. I'm going to increase it on the right side. I've from the shim pack that I got with the install kit, I got a 263. That'll be 261. So that's 4 thousandths more. That should give me a little bit of bearing preload. I'd like to have a little bit more, but it's tough. And all my other ones I can't come even close. So I'm gonna stick a 261 in there instead of the 257. It's 4 thousandths, and I'm gonna see what I got. All right, when I put this one together, the multiple shims went on this side, so I stuck them in first. And then I got my bearing, my hull housing in there a little bit. And this left bearing shim was stuck out a little bit. And I tapped it in with my brass drift. And I can't pull it out. So it's in there, fairly decent. It's tighter than what it was. Now, this is the backlash. The backlash is between the ring gear and the pinion. That's the backlash. So now I gotta measure that. But I have to put my caps on first and tighten it up so I can measure backlash. Alright, you need a dial indicator so you can measure backlash. You need to torque the bearing caps to 65 foot-pounds. Make sure you got the arrows pointing out and the right side with the punch mark. Right here, right now, it's zero. Right now it's on 0. Each big part is 5, okay? So it's measuring 10 thousandths, okay? On a new gear, 4 to 9, okay? On a used gear, be like 10 to 16, okay? If you have anything more than 16, you're gonna get a clunk from reverse to drive. You don't want that. So it's kind of hard to check it before you take it apart because the bearings are bad on the pinion and it will change all this. So I'm going to accept this. All right. So that's good. All right, I'll take it. Time to put your axle seals in. Make sure you pack them with some grease, all right? Try not to hit your ABS sensor, okay? All right, so now, do the same thing. Wipe some grease around your axles where the bearings go and put your axles in. Slide them in. And then we'll have to remove that pinion shaft so we can put our C-clips in. All right, when you put these axles in, you gotta get them into the side gears, okay? Because otherwise you just get in there, they just bottom out. So what you gotta do is you gotta pull it down a little bit and push it in. It goes inside the pumpkin, and then you gotta get it inside the side gears. And if it bottoms out, like that, then you're in the side gear, okay? Now we can remove our pinion shaft and put our C-clips in. So now you gotta find your C-clips, and you gotta turn this. Get a little tighter. Gotta turn it with the pinion, and now you can remove this retainer bolt. Pull the shaft out. Okay. Find your C-clips. Okay. Now push your axle in. Axle's pushed in. Now you push this, find which way it was wearing, and put it in that way. And reach up through to the top and put it into the end of the axle shaft, which we call the button. Okay, you just slipped in there. Now you go to your axle and you pull your axle out. You hear that? Okay. That one's in. Now you go to the other axle and you push that one in as far as you can push it in. And you get your C-clip the way it goes. And stick it up in there. Get it inside that button. You might have to push it in the axle a little bit. I always use the clip and push in with the clip. Okay. It's in there. And then I'll pull the axle. Make sure it's out. All right. And line up your hole. Make sure that's lined up. Put this, call it the pinion shaft. Put that shaft in there. Put your retainer bolt in there. Okay. That's lined up. Thread it in there a couple times. Now you can go to your axles. Pull them, turn them. It's okay, you can turn them now. Make sure you pull on them. Make sure that those C-clips are in there. They're in there. Now, you gotta go and tighten this bolt up. Remember, it's an 8mm, 5/16. Tighten it up, snug it up, and then tap on with your hammer. So that way you know it's tight. I want to bang on with a sledgehammer, just a small one. All right, so you got the bolt in, put your little wrench on there, take your hammer, tap on it, make sure it's tight. I need to bear down on it. Now, the rear end is set. So now what you need to do is put your cover on with your gasket and put a little silicone on it. Make sure it's clean and dry. And then put it on there and put all your bolts on and snug them up. Don't bear down on them. Tighten them up. It feels good to you. You don't want to over tighten them and split your gasket. Got your rear end cover on. Torque your bolts. Make sure you have crisscross pattern. And then once you get that done, then you can put your stabilizer bar on. Go this side first, and then do this side. You might have to pry the rear end over that way to line up the hole. What I did was I pried up against here and there. Pried the rear end that way. Lined it up, got my bolts in. Now I can tighten them up. And after you get done with that, then you can go ahead and put your drive shaft on. And if you marked it, line up your marks. Hopefully you did. All right. All right, get your drive shaft on, get it lined up. Remember the squares that are round. This is a square and the other one's was round. So look for your spots or look for your mark that you put on and tighten your bolts. And then go all the way around and torque them. All right, now you can put your brakes back together. And then by the time you're done putting your brakes back together, then you can put some gear lube in it. All right. Hopefully you don't need no help getting your brakes back together. Let's see. Put your rotors on. Put your caliper bracket on. Put your bolts in. Snug them up. Torque them to 70 foot-pounds. Put your brake pads in. Make sure the clips are in there, the abundant clips, the hardware. And then slip your brake caliper on. Hopefully the pistons didn't come out on it. A little bit of pushing back in. Looks like they pushed in a little bit, came out. I don't know. It's going. Line it up, tap it on there. Make sure you line up the flats with the flats on your calipers for your slide pins. And you can put your caliper bolts in there. The 213s. Get them started. And get the other one started. I'm going to torque these to 24 foot-pounds. Okay? And do the other side exactly the same way. Alright, you got your calipers on, your brackets on, all that. Now you can put your rear tires on and torque them to 100 foot-pounds. Next, then after that, you need to do is put your gear lube in. And it goes with a filler plug right on the side of the housing. And what you do is you pump the fluid in there until it comes out. It doesn't take any more, and you put the plug back in and you let it sit for 15 minutes. So that way it allows it to drain inside the axle tubes and level itself out. And then what you want to do is you want to go and remove the plug. And if it comes out as a little steady stream, then you're good. But if there's no steady stream, then you need to pump some more in there till it pours back out, and put the plug back in and let it sit. Let it sit for another 15 minutes, and then pull the plug out, and then hopefully it's draining. So let it drain the excess off till it just got a little stream coming out, and then put your plug in and snug it up, okay? And that's it. And that's how you do your rear differential bearings, okay? If I helped you out with this video, that's awesome. And if you could subscribe to me, I appreciate it. If you already did subscribe to me, I want to thank you, and I appreciate your time.